Hey everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the VOD Squad, the show where we talk about streaming technology. This is episode 230 on April 14th, 2021. I am Clyde, and today I am joined by Matthew Ross.
Hello everybody.
Jimmy Tremmel.
Hey guys, how's it going?
And we are no longer post-show.
Aw,
I know.
Well, but we can start the fun post-show stuff if we want to.
No. Everybody missed that. They're gonna have to stick around to the beginning.
I love the intellectual debates we have about, you know, whether or not our stories or, you know, the stories we left out and the things that we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the fact that we have that entire, you know, section of talking about the different titles that we have and picking ones. Those are fun things to do. Yeah. And, you know, revisiting the subject.
Somehow we're able to do that before the show even started.
I know. it's
clairvoyance. In action.
You're missing out if you're watching the post show. That's all I'm saying. Oh my goodness
gracious!
What's going
on?
Hey, I'm exhausted because work is weird. School's back in session. Everybody, spring break was last week, so this week it's everybody come back to school and I think everybody's going insane. It's just how it is.
Going?
More so than before. Our school district is now made the change that you are either fully virtual or fully in the class. Mm-hmm. You may choose one or the other. And so most of the kids are back in class, and kids. Yeah. It's been a while.
Mm. Yeah. Well, what's new with me is I actually have an appointment to go get a COVID-19 shot.
Well, congratulations! I'm happy for you.
All right.
No, seriously. I think you should. I think it's good for you to do that.
Word.
Clyde.
What?
Nothing.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, it's one of those things that people say, hey, I'm going to do it. And you're like, okay. And people say, I'm not going to do it. And you go, okay. All right. You know, whatever. I have no opinion.
Yeah, the truth is that nobody can make you do it. So that's fine. But I am happy for you, Jimmy.
This is one of the few scenarios where I have no opinion. I know it's weird.
Yeah, but don't you work for a company where it might actually, you know,
I don't
be
care.
Related to this whole? Okay. Clyde's might actually be works for a company that may or may or not be involved with this thing, but he totally does not care. It really does not affect his view at all. Just so you know.
I mean,
most people have to, you know, stipulate that it might affect. No, not Clyde.
Well, I can tell you my main motivation is that I think that, you know, in order for me to go overseas, I'm probably going to have to show proof that I've been vaccinated. So that's really my main motivation.
Oftentimes you have to do that for other diseases as well.
No, I mean, you got to do that anyway. Yeah. It's like when I joined the Navy, there was a whole list. I had to go through the entire list of like anywhere you could possibly go in the world, you got to get that.
Right.
And, you know.
How sick did you feel after that?
It's hard to quantify because that was it was like the first day of boot camp. Mm-hmm. and then the second day of boot camp, they beat you pretty hard. Mm-hmm. I think that's mainly so that you don't know if you're sick from all the shots. You feel like crap, but you don't know why.
Don't know why.
It could be like 20 different things.
Did I ever tell you guys that, you know, when I joined the Army, And you know, the first, I think like the second day I was in, they took us in for the shots. Did I tell you guys about that story?
I don't think so.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
is this
yeah,
a peanut butter shot?
So keep in mind, right? I'm only 18 years old when I joined the Army, and you know, and so they, you know, they make you do all kind of things, you know, and all. But one of the things they make you do is they make you go in and get shots, right? You have to get shots because you're going overseas, you know, and all this kind of thing. So they take you in 2 by 2, right, to take the shot. So they have one guy sitting there filling out the forms, right, while the other guy's sitting in the chair getting the shot, right? So they take me and this little kind of small guy, you know, he was shorter than me. I'm 5'11". He was probably like 5'5" or something like that. Small guy, you know, set him in a chair, and I'm the one filling out the form while, you know, he's getting the shot. So I'm filling out the form, and so, and you could tell he was nervous, but I mean, hey, we all were nervous, right? We're the second day in the Army, right? So you could tell he was nervous and all, and then so the medic come up to stick the needle into his arm, and when he stuck him in the arm, he went stiff as a board. He went like, just like that, just went stiff, and he just slid off into the floor. And the medic, the medic just followed him all the way down to the floor to keep giving him the shot. And then after he was done, he said, "Okay, you can sit down, and you're next now." And I'm like, "Holy crap, man! What are you doing? Are you?"
And the thing is, that's not the first time that medic has seen that.
No. I mean, it was an everyday thing for him. For me, I was like, "Oh, holy crap! What am I doing? Am I about to die?" Yeah. So. Anyway, I plan on telling that story when I go to get my COVID-19 shot.
There you go. They'll love it.
You should just go stiff as a board and slide to the ground and see what they do.
That they don't tempt me there. Don't tempt me. Yeah.
They probably wouldn't react like that Army vet. So, sorry.
All right. Well,
goodness gracious.
Stiff as a board. We should probably talk about something.
How about news? We can actually talk about the news if you want. We're going to start here with a story about MST3K. You know MST3K. That's that awesome show where a couple people, some of them are animated puppets, some of them are actual people.
Yeah, that show was created here in Minnesota. That was
Down
Minnesota.
and watch a movie, usually a bad one, and talk over it about funny things that happen and make that bad movie much more entertaining to watch. They've had an amazing kind of up and down their various iterations of the show, where they were, of course, they started in Minnesota. They got onto Comedy Central. They were able to get a Kickstarter started and got themselves onto Netflix for a while, but that's gone away, and they're ready to come back and do it again. This time, it looks like they're looking to do something a little different. They're looking to start up the show using their own virtual theater. This is the idea of them being able to host on their own website a way for entire groups of people be able to connect to the Gizmoplex. Gizmoplex, whatever you want to say, and set it up so you are able to watch and enjoy the movie alongside with everybody else and comment as things are going on.
Basically, they're ripping me off.
Exactly. This sounds exactly like what you're already doing, except for they're going to be able. They're raising money. They've already they need to raise $2 million in order to do it. So. Clyde, why haven't you been doing this all along? I don't get it.
Because I don't have the $500,000
okay
to make it happen. Hey, get me the get me the patrons. I'll do it.
Sure. Yeah. I wouldn't mind watching bad movies and making fun of them. That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
For money?
I mean, these guys have been around since the 20th century, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I've always enjoyed this show.
Yes. MST3K, whatever, however it gets reincarnated, I'm for it because it is a form of family fun entertainment that I wholeheartedly approve of. So yes, this is good stuff.
Agreed.
All right. So Amazon Luna is Amazon's attempt to make a streaming platform for streaming video games, and they have decided that, oh, you have bandwidth caps? We've got a solution for you. They are now allowing you to play their games in 720p. This isn't actually unheard of. All the other services have the option for 720p streaming. In fact, if you're using xCloud, it's your only option. But no, Luna is doing this and doing a really good spin job by saying, this is for your bandwidth impairment. You can go ahead and play your games without worrying about hitting those data caps so hard.
We can only provide this for your benefit.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
Oh, that's a title. 720p. You're welcome.
Okay. The only thing I know about Luna is that there were a couple games that were supposed to come out on Luna and they went, nope, and pulled out and went over to like Stadia or whatever.
So I feel like Luna is going to be an also ran kind of thing, where sure, you're going to see stuff on there, but everything you're going to see on there is stuff that you're going to see on other platforms. There probably will be an exclusive somewhere along the line, knowing how Amazon loves to throw money around. But nobody I know of like goes, if you say streaming your games, everybody says either Stadia or xCloud. That's what they think of first. So it's just not on the minds of most people, I don't think yet. But who knows? In the future, it might be. And being third in a huge market, nothing wrong with that. Yeah, and also 720p. It's enough for most people.
I mean,
you didn't even notice for years.
I mean, and that's the thing, especially if you're playing this on small screens.
Yeah,
who cares?
Yeah, small screen wouldn't make any difference. I mean, realistically, even like, you know, if you had a 32-inch screen, it's still pretty good on a 32-inch screen.
You remember that these type of gaming platforms are meant to be device agnostic. If you want to play it on your TV, you can. You want to play it on your PC, you can. You want to play it on your phone. On this phone, even though, yes, it does have a 4K screen, I'm not going to notice if it's in 720. You're not going to notice anything. On your big living room TV, yeah, you know, Jimmy fires it up on his OLED. Yeah, he's probably going to notice that the game isn't as nice as some of the other offerings, but most of the people...
Could have played on that screen, okay?
You probably could.
Probably, as long as it could stream it, yes. But also, at the same time, if you go 4K streaming, you better have good bandwidth and great compression, because you'll see artifacts all over the place on that. Versus a 721, because it's such an easier thing to stream, I bet you it looks better in some ways. I bet you there's going to be comparisons out there where they say, don't play it at 4K, it sucks.
I was going to make a joke, but I can't remember the name of the game where you're like going around hunting artifacts.
That's like every other game.
You know, there's a specific game that it specifically calls out artifacts. So, but
I don't know.
Missed opportunity.
Discovery Plus is yet the next big streaming platform that's going to be landing on the X1 and Flex platform by Comcast. That's right. I'm trying to remember if this is what we said exactly last week or not, but it was in this week's news. Discovery Plus joins a fleet of other streaming platforms from Peacock, Disney Plus, Hulu, HBO Max, Paramount Plus, and Spotify, and everybody else to land on these platforms. So yes, you can sit there and watch your favorite streaming platform on your Comcast Xfinity box.
Yeah. I mean, me and my wife, we watch a lot of the Discovery Plus shows, right? And one thing I've noticed, we subscribe to Hulu. Hulu before Discovery Plus started up this service, right? All the shows that we watch, mostly HGTV, right? But all those were there. But now, since they spun up this service, I've noticed that the amount of shows that are available now on Hulu has diminished quite a lot, right? There's still some shows there, right? You can still watch some episodes. But since they spun up this new service, it's like, it's really dwindled down a whole lot. So apparently they're trying to prod you to subscribe to the service.
Well, it's as Disney leverages its majority stake in Hulu by investing more and more shows, funneling shows there. Comcast is kind of doing the opposite, which I see as a signal that they may be pulling out sooner than later, which would probably be fine from a Disney standpoint, so that would be Comcast, NBC, all the other owned channels that fall under that umbrella. But I mean, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Well, I mean, certainly they got to make it a better experience, right? If you're going to subscribe to it.
Yeah.
Right.
No, and that's the thing is if you're going to start your own platform, how are you going to get people to sign up if the same stuff is available elsewhere? True. And they saw CBS's
Paramount
faux pas in All Access with nothing there. It's like, hey, sign up for our thing that has like one show that you want to see, and then some stuff, not even an entire series, just some seasons of certain shows. And no, it's Discovery Plus. It's an all or nothing kind of thing. If you're going to have it your own dedicated platform, then you want all of your content to be there. Sure, there should be some stuff on another to kind of say, oh, if you want to watch the rest of this, sign up for Discovery Plus. But I mean, as far as it being on the Comcast box, that's a no-brainer. They need everything.
Yep. Eventually, it'll all be there.
But now is Comcast? I didn't quite get this. Are they including it with your Comcast subscription, or do you got to pay Comcast, and then you also have to pay for the Discovery Plus?
You can get the Flex box without a Comcast cable subscription. So you can basically just paying for their internet, but because you're paying for their internet, you can use their Flex box, which allows you to use the as Clyde mentioned a couple weeks ago, that's $5 a month just for having the box. To them, that's good money in their pocket.
Yeah. So I mean, this is essentially, I mean, it's an Android TV. They've got their own box that's built on the Android platform. So any channel that is currently has an app on Android TV should be on this device eventually. Now, they're not including the Discovery Plus subscription. That's just that the app is now available on this platform if you're a user of this platform. So, Discovery Plus costs you $5 a month or $7 for the ad-free plan. But yeah,
or you could just get internet somewhere else and not pay the extra.
Well, and that's the thing. This is of no consequence to people that don't live in Comcast territory, because I'm not a Comcast subscriber. I couldn't be if I wanted to. I know I tried to transfer my business class over here and they said, nope.
Sorry.
But,
well, I mean, there is always Starlink.
Well, he probably has something else from I think
no,
MediaCom. He
Yeah,
said.
I've got MediaCom. I'm not entirely happy, but you know, it's fine.
Clyde, when are you entirely happy?
Exactly.
Okay, just curious. Hey, I got bad news for Clyde because he loves his remotes. Unfortunately, Logitech has announced that they are taking their Harmony brand remotes. That is the awesome one remote to rule them all kind of remotes, so you could easily program for all different kinds of solutions. And they are announcing that they are going to stop producing them. They are going to continue supporting them for the foreseeable future. They are going to continue doing that until they see the usage of the supporting platforms drop off. They are also going to allow you to continue buying the ones that are in stores. And go ahead.
I was going to say, honestly, I'm surprised it took this long.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
I thought you wanted one remote to do everything.
Well, I like one remote to do everything, but the thing is, as we've moved forward into the future, we use less and less devices. Now I'm relying on one device, and on that one device, I can control my TV and the device. I mean, I'm not using a DVD player anymore. I'm not, you know, it.
You don't use an amp?
Very rarely. Only when I'm going to fire up a movie and I happen to be in the living room. But the time I spend watching TV in the living room is like maybe a couple hours a month.
How many TVs you got in your house, Clyde?
There's one in my bedroom, one in the living room, and then there's one downstairs by the pool table.
Okay, so you got one more than me.
But I mean,
and I really only watch one.
Yeah, exactly. The only one I really watch is the one in my bedroom.
I have none in my bedroom, but I've got one in the living room. That's pretty much the only one.
Yeah, I don't hang out in the living room unless somebody's here, and I don't typically invite people over. So, you know, basically the time watching my TV in the living room is when my daughter's here and we're catching up on the last season of Holy Moly. And that's like an hour every couple weeks.
Right.
But I gotta say, this story is a little disappointing because I mean, I just bought a Harmony remote like a year and a half ago, something like that.
But you're good.
Maybe 2 years
It's
ago.
not like you're like in the market to buy a new one.
No, I'm not.
And that's the thing is, and Logitech is really good. When they said that they're going to be supporting them, and that's good because, I mean, technically they still support my Harmony remote that I bought in 2005. It was either 2004 or 2005. And it still works technically. I just stopped using it because I didn't have any reason to use it. And that's why every time I saw the Harmony remotes in the store over the last couple of years, it just seemed increasingly weird that they were still making it, especially with as expensive as they are.
Yeah,
because
they are not cheap at all anymore.
And
you could get one for $100 before.
Yeah.
No.
And I mean, and it's not like there is a learning curve. It's not like I could give my parents a Harmony remote and be like, here, they are the people that could benefit from it. I had a guy pay me last summer, or I guess it was before last summer, but about a year ago, there was a guy in my town that I overheard him talking about his Harmony remote, and we started talking, and then he paid me to come over and program it for him. Because that's the kind of stuff I do on the side. And, you know, but that, yeah, the fact that they're still making them was kind of baffled me.
So I've got the Sabrina, which is the Chromecast from Google's new Chromecast. And it's got the remote. So I plugged it in and I pressed the button, any button on the remote, and my TV just went ahead and turned on and went straight to that interface because of that internal communications stuff. CEC. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And so I was able to try the volume on it, and the volume went up to the TV and control the TV. And it was like, this is great. And I pressed the power button. I powered down the Google device. And because it killed the Google device, the TV went to sleep.
And then also you can add additional devices. If you go into the settings, you can add like downstairs. I've got the Sabrina downstairs where the pool table is, and I've got that sound bar. So it is set to know, oh, okay, control the sound bar, or you can control your, when I had it in the living room, it found my Yamaha receiver and said, oh, I'm just going to use that for sound.
Yeah. And what the funny thing is, I went ahead and went into the settings and I said, oh, okay, let's go ahead and just actually program the remote for it. And it said, okay, here's my TV. And it said, oh, hold on. And it now starts using the IR to turn on and off the TV and the IR to change the volume, which I actually want less because I have to point the dang thing at the TV in order for it to turn the TV on and off now or change the volume, versus before it was connecting to using a wireless, not an infrared connection to the Sabrina, and it would do all that. And it's like, oh man, how do I turn that off? give me the new thing. It's working better.
Yeah. What's really cool, if you get an Echo Dot, you can just set that there next to it and just talk to the dot and have the Harmony remote control through that.
Yeah. But I mean, that's what you can do with the Android TV. I mean, it's built right in to the remote. So,
and also Harmony's going to disappear. You're going to step out of this. Some entrepreneuring company will step in and say, we're going to do something similar for cheaper, or maybe not quite as good, but do 90% of what that thing could do, and it's going to be fine. Nobody's going to be.
It's definitely a relic of the last century.
But there are people who need. Frankly, there are people who need the Harmony remote. So you're going to just have to deal with something different, or pay big bucks for this 2019 model Harmony remote that still works for only $500.
Hey, I'll sell you mine for $300.
Exactly. Hey, anybody want to buy a Harmony remote?
And the thing that I like about mine is it was one of the last ones before they went to the touch screen. I hated the stupid touch screen. I still had physical, even though it had an LCD screen, it had physical buttons along the side. But
awesome. All right. Firefox is going to stop supporting the Amazon Fire TV and Echo Show devices, and you might be thinking to yourself, "Wait a second, there's Firefox on the Amazon Fire TV and Echo Show devices?" That's what I thought when I heard this. That's right. Firefox has had a version of their browser available on the Fire TV and on the Echo Show devices for quite some time. They have basically been the other browser available on these devices compared to Amazon's own Silk browser, which is a cloud-based browser. It's using the cloud to do most of that work there. It looks like Firefox has decided to stop providing support and updates for these platforms. And so now they are going to pull it on the 30th, which means no more Firefox on those platforms for you, which kind of sucks.
I think this happened when Chrome went away. Remember that point where you couldn't get Chrome on that Apple, or on the Amazon devices?
I can't remember when you could.
I thought you could at the very beginning.
Maybe, like I don't know,
Kindles, and this goes back to like the Kindle. You had it, but then there was the whole everything. Yeah, whatever. But I know it's been around for a while, but this is clearly an indication that people weren't using it. And what's the point of spending money and resources on something where they could be used elsewhere? So not surprised.
Oh well.
I mean, this is about the thing that is more surprising though is that Samsung is going to go to somebody else for screens?
Yeah, so Samsung, seller of all types of LCDs and QLEDs displays, has been, really, probably one of the biggest manufacturers out there, save for only LG, who has come in to make a deal with Samsung. They've decided to make a deal where they're going to where Samsung is going to purchase 1 million OLED panels from LG in the second half of 2021 and 4 million panels in 2022. This is using the OLED technology that LG has been basically touting, and it's quite frankly beautiful technology, which Samsung has been using their QLED in their big TVs for this time. So I don't know how to read this. Does this mean that Samsung's thinking maybe OLEDs are better?
I think it's Samsung. Well, first off, I'll preface this by saying I think this is the smartest move that Samsung has ever made. But I think this allows them to move into the OLED market without actually investing the time and money and resources to develop their own OLED. Because as mentioned, they put all their cart behind on the QLED horse. But there are benefits to both, but most people prefer the OLED. And yeah, now I think they'll be the first company to sell both.
That's true. And yeah, which one do you want? Do you want the Samsung with the OLED or the QLED? And you look at them right next to each other. You can make that decision right there.
It doesn't matter which one you choose. They'll both include Bixby and ruin your experience.
And honestly, I mean, both screens, you might notice what it really comes down to is the processor inside. Because, I mean, both of those screens are good, right? You're not going to be able to discern that much difference between the two, really, unless they have different processors. If one has a better processor than the other, that's really what makes the difference.
Yeah, and that potentially could be the case because Samsung's buying the screens. They're not buying the processor. They're going to put those screens in their architecture, so then you will be able to do a apples to apples comparison. Basically, compare a Samsung and an LG screen. They're both running the same screen, but does one look better than the other because of processing differences and CPU and all the other stuff?
We might get a real one-to-one comparison for finals. Probably not. Knowing Samsung, they're like, oh yeah, when it's over this size, it'll be this the technology, and under this size, it'll be that technology.
Yeah. But
whatever.
No, I mean they made a great decision because LG makes
beautiful displays.
What Samsung really needs to do now is buy the OLED mobile phone screens that LG's no longer going to be using. Because these LG OLED panels are gorgeous.
Well, Samsung makes their own OLEDs at that small size.
These look better.
Well, and that's the thing in this article. I mean, they kind of conveniently left out what size screens they're going to be making there with LG.
I'm sure it's going to be across the whole gamut.
We'll see.
That's what you would think, but but it doesn't really specify either way.
Yeah, and I don't think any of that's public yet. But
I bet you anything, one of them will be the more premium brand, and they'll just sell more. They'll just get a couple $100 more for them. So that's good.
Yeah. All right.
Well, here we are. We are official in Rumorville for Apple streaming devices, guys. This is kind of bread and butter for us here. You know what I mean? Apple is rumored to be coming out with 2 different devices that would be noteworthy here. One is a new Apple TV box, right? And that's got, whatever you want to do there.
Due.
It's due for
a few years.
But it's also going to have a camera built into it. This is the idea of this, is to make it so it can also be your ability to do your voice chat over it and be able to use your main big display in your house to do your conversation pieces.
They want to do the thing that Facebook's been trying to do for 5 years.
Yeah, but because it's Apple, it's not privacy invasive.
Oh, okay.
That's right. Also, the other one that they're looking at is a HomePod style device. It's a speaker kind of thing. It'll have a screen, and it instead, but the screen will be designed in such a way that it will somehow be able to track you in your room. So if you are walking around in a room, it will be able to keep the screen pointed at you. Yes, you've heard about this one too. It was at the Echo Show 10 that did this exact same thing, and we all were saying it's creepy. But because Apple does it, it's not going to be creepy.
But this one, well, so the Echo Show 10 watches you sleep.
No, you're thinking of the Google one.
Or that's what I'm talking about the Google one. The Google one watches you sleep. So does the Echo Show 10 physically move?
Yes, the Echo Show 10 literally would follow you.
Oh, yeah, no.
And apparently that's exactly what this new device from Apple will do as well. So when you're in a room and you say something to activate it, it will turn the display towards you so you can see what its response is, or if you're talking to somebody, it can follow you around the room.
No.
So what? You don't want that?
No.
How? Close the pod bay doors.
I'm sorry, Jimmy. I can't do that.
Hey, who's Hal? I don't know what you're talking about. That's okay. No, I think these are.
The new Apple TV. I mean, the rumors are saying it's going to be 120 hertz is what that box will be. Yep. That would be a nice upgrade. But what I'd like to see Apple do, and I guess I'm the resident Apple guy here, but I'd like to see them put out like a home theater system is what I'd like to see them do. But probably not going to do that. But I would like to see them do that.
So by default, home theater system, you're talking about speakers and everything, right?
Yes. Not just a home pod with a basically.
So you want them to basically
stuck onto it, right?
Do what Roku's already done.
Yes.
Well, this one will.
But I would like for it to be more premium than what Roku's already done.
Okay. So this TV with new TV with the camera built in will also have a speaker built into it. So it will be the beginning of that. I don't know if they'll be selling some type of satellite speaker systems, but knowing Apple, that's kind of the thing.
If Roku were to make them white and then jack up the price by 200%, is that premium enough for you?
You
well,
forgot.
I mean, but they got to have the sound with it. Right?
Oh, they've got great sound. Yeah,
it's got to do better than my Bose system now.
No, see, you forgot what's required. It has to be white. The price has to go up.
Yep.
And it needs an English-speaking presenter to tell you how beautiful the sound is coming out of it.
It will have strict rules in how it can be used. Even if that does not work for your actual use case scenario, you will need to modify your life to fit the way it works.
Yeah, remember the British guy for Apple, he retired like 4 years ago.
Yeah, they haven't made a good thing since.
Enough voice data from him. They can do whatever they want.
And they have new British voice actor guys too. You know that.
I just realized, and since Jimmy brought it up, I think we need to get one of the Roku sound systems and send it to Jimmy.
Oh,
to get get the opinion of how does it compare to your Bose system?
It was Bose. No eyes.
I mean, it would be interesting to compare that, right? But I mean, I've looked at those Roku, like the what do they call it? This sound bar.
Well, they've got the sound bar, and then they also have the wireless satellite speakers
and the wireless subwoofer.
And they got a subwoofer as well, right?
And that's
so. I mean, it looks like it would be pretty good, right? But would it be? I mean, of course, realize it's been like 15 years ago when I bought my speaker system, right?
Well, and that's why I wanted to get, because I wanted to get your opinion, because, I mean, just some guy on the internet that says, hey, they sound great. That doesn't mean anything. But I mean, you've set the bar. You've got your sound system. I'm curious where this actually ranks. Is it
halfway as good?
Is it half as good? Is it
almost as good?
Yeah.
Is it crap? Let us know.
Yeah. I mean, it would. Certainly, it would be better than just having, just a TV.
Oh no, it completely is.
But I mean, it's going to be an improvement over just having the TV hanging up there, right? Yeah. But
he just wants to know how close it gets to the bar, which is
I want to know. I want to know if you use them A/B it. What do you think? Where does it come in?
Yeah, that would be an interesting thing to test out there, to see, hey, and I know that they're wireless, right? That's the big appeal, is that they're wireless, right? And all of my speakers are wired, and I guess I'm a little antsy about going wireless.
Well, because, you can wire them. You can wire them, I believe.
Can you?
I believe they have that option.
They'll work off the old speaker wire.
Should, but
don't know.
I haven't really looked into them. But
at the same time,
but even trying it wireless, right? I would like to try a set of wireless to see how it holds up to my 15-year-old wired speakers.
Sure.
Yeah. Sure.
All right. Yeah. Hey guys. Okay.
No, you go ahead.
All right. Well, I was just going to say, I'm so happy that, as a consumer of videos, I've decided to use an agnostic platform that's going to be around forever. And that's why I went ahead and spent a lot of my, time and effort and money in putting a lot of my videos on the Google Play video service, because it's going to be the best one for, oh, crap. Google Play Video is being abandoned, if you wish to put it that way. They are going to ahead and reducing the platforms, reducing it from many platforms. It's being dropped off of Roku, Vizio, LG, and Samsung TVs. It is going to be saying goodbye to a host of devices starting on June 15th. All the videos that you have purchased through it, thankfully, are still going to be available to you to watch using the YouTube app. That's right. YouTube has all that stuff already in it. Also, if you have any cash that is somehow, the Google Play Movie cash, all that money can also be used within the YouTube app to purchase or rent videos as well. So that's not going away either. The only thing that is apparently not moving over is what is playlists that you have created.
Yeah. So number one, this is something that clearly people weren't using.
I was.
Yeah. But en masse, no. But also thing to note is Google did participate in that cabal with Disney Movies Anywhere and everybody else. So if you were someone who had stuff in your Google Play store and you watched it on your Roku, you technically still could through one of the other services that has access to that library.
Sure, absolutely. That cabal, as you put it, was a very smart move by all those companies. Absolutely. I appreciate it.
And also, I mean, but they're moving that stuff into YouTube too. Which is on all these platforms.
Yeah, YouTube is just the better brand. Period. So
I've always had a negative view of the Google Play.
Really, negative.
I just don't like it, especially when they tried folding everything in, and I don't like the name. I always thought it was awkward, and
they made it play movies, play music, and I kind of liked that because it was playful, quite frankly, and I liked that. But
I liked having a Google App Store
Yeah.
I don't want to go to Google Play where I'm just trying to manage or reinstall something that I'd previously uninstalled or whatever, and it's constantly, hey, you should watch this. Hey, we'll give you whatever to download this book. Hey, this. And it's, I don't care about any of that. I don't want any of that. I don't use any of that. Leave me alone. But yeah, I mean, if you're going to watch a movie or whatever, yeah, just in YouTube's fine.
I mean, it makes perfect sense, right? I mean, they're just cutting down their rather than marketing two different venues there, they're just, putting it into one. I mean, and you're not losing any, like Matt said, you're not losing any content or anything like that. You're just going from one app to another app.
And this is like the third time that they've changed this platform. So
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Here's my hope and dream here. Google, I like them a lot, but one of their big faults is that they have multiple platforms for the same thing. Then they have this not just with movies, they have had this for many things. Messenger apps is like their most famous example of their like being about 6 of them still alive out of the 600 there were. I'm only slightly exaggerating. Anyways, I like the idea of somebody somewhere saying, let's pare this down to either a specific market or just a single product. So, and if that means that all the different Play apps from Play Music, which is gone to YouTube Music, to Play Movies and all the other Play Books, all those get to be somehow consolidated into their own individual ecosystems and apps. I think this is the right thing for Google to do there. I approve only because you got Google. You own too many of these. You have to sell some and keep only your favorite one. Sorry. It's just how it is.
But Dad...
Nope. You do not need to have
someday
YouTube
this
music,
will be worth money.
No, you do not need to have YouTube Music, YouTube Premium, YouTube Red, Google Play Music, Google Movies, and no.
But what about
done.
Duo?
Oh my god! Let's not get started on your chat apps, okay, young man. You need to. No, you're done. We're done here.
I hate you.
You're going to Google Messages and you're going to like it.
I was going to slam my door, but I couldn't reach it. Yeah. Okay. Bye, Play.
Well, all right. Yeah. So what do you do if you are trying to, improve the infrastructure of the internet in the United States? And what do you do if you say, well, how fast is the internet? And you go up to your ISP and say, hey, how fast is your 1 gigabit per second internet? And say, it's 1 gigabit per second. And you go, well, that makes sense. And then somebody says, what? I buy 1 gigabit internet from that, and I don't get 1 gigabit internet. I was like, really? You don't? What do you get? Well, I get like sometimes 800 and sometimes 600 and sometimes 900 and it's all over the place. But I don't always get that. Really? Well, it's like they're telling us that they're giving one thing, but they're not really giving it to you. So the FCC, the whole point of this is the FCC has decided that they want to go and really know how fast internet is in various places in the United States. So they've introduced a new app for your device, whether it be an Android or iOS device. It is a speed test app designed in order to take the testing of your various broadband provider, whether it be wireless or wired, and do a real speed test in order to know exactly how fast the internet is in the United States. I downloaded this and I tried it. The first thing it did is it said, oh, and we want to do this occasionally in the background, at which point I went,
no.
Oh, I don't know about that. I did have the option to turn that off and turn off the use my mobile broadband.
Yeah, but did it really?
Yeah, I don't know, but I tried it.
Checked the box. It didn't actually do anything.
All I'm saying is that I downloaded, I tried it. It's an interesting. I like it in concept. I could see the flaws. So But it would actually be able to prove that, hey, I would be interested to know that, hey, somebody's selling you a bill that's supposed to be a gigabit and you're getting 500 megabit on average. That's good information to know. So,
okay. So this starts the whole conversation of, number one, you have to understand the difference between the different ways that you get internet. Because different services have different properties. So like cable, it's essentially a community well, and you can draw as much as you want from that well up to a specific point. Whereas something that's synchronous, or it really depends on the transport type. That being said, just because the speed test says that you're getting a number doesn't actually mean that's the number you're getting. There's so many different variables. Number one, what else is going on your network? Mm-hmm. Number two, what's on the other end of that connection? If you have a gigabit connection, but the other end is capped out at 500, your test is only going to come back at 500.
Correct.
So,
and the interconnections.
And there's the interconnections and everything else. So, I mean, yes, like stuff like Ookla is a good tool to see, do I have internet? But I wouldn't base anything off of it. As long as it's like, yeah, if you got gigabit and it says, yeah, right now I'm able to get 500. Okay, good. Unless, but I usually recommend go into the manual search and then go pick cities from the map that are historically high bandwidth areas, right, and test a few, because you'll see that your speeds will vary wildly,
right?
Depending, and you'll get a whole bunch of 400, 300, 850. Okay, you're good. Yeah, the capability is probably there, but a lot of it's being misrepresented by...
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, by people's lack of knowledge.
Right. Yeah. I guess I'm the only one that read this as, this was going to be the first step toward the government having their own internet service. I guess they would call it Skynet.
Well,
everything is Skynet.
Everything is Skynet. But that was going to be my other point is one of my favorite quotes of all time from Ronald Reagan was, the scariest thing is someone from the government, or is someone saying, or the scariest thing anybody could ever say is, I'm from the government and I'm here to help. Yeah, I don't want him. Honestly, I don't want him to get involved. Because right now, I mean, there's competition. Things may not move as fast as people want, but there is competition. And the more the government gets involved, that competition will not be a thing. And then when there's no competition, everybody suffers.
Okay. So what I hope comes out of this is the clearer understanding of exactly how the internet works for people. I would love to have a speed test that says, "Hey, we're gonna do the test to your ISP first," mm-hmm, and then bzzz, shows you, "Oh, you are getting very fast speeds to your ISP within 90% of what you should be getting. That's great." And then goes, "Okay, now we're gonna try something long distance, and we think it should be going good, but we'll see." And I kind of want that kind of distinction. And also, I wouldn't mind having a thing where it's maybe not a guaranteed minimum, but an expected minimum. Like, oh yeah, you should get at least this much per month, generally. And like 90% of the time, out of a gigabit service, you should get 500 megabit. If it said something like that, that's fine.
Yeah.
All right.
All I know is I don't believe that they will be able to create something that worked good enough to get actual facts.
We'll see. We don't know. We'll see what happens. All right. Roku has a new entry-level streaming box. That's right. You have a new $40 streaming box from Roku that's called the Express 4K Plus. This is just like the other Express devices you've been able to get recently, except for it's now finally being able to provide you 4K display over this little tiny puck, which is awesome. But maybe the more exciting piece of information here is the new $30 Voice Remote Pro. It is a standard-looking voice remote with all the various features of previous ones, including the ability to plug in headphones, the ability for you to use it, use it with a bunch of different types of TVs, and the IR blaster built into it. And be able to talk to it through the thing. But the thing I think Clyde might be really happy about is it has a rechargeable battery.
This is where it gets iffy.
Oh.
Yes, I like rechargeable devices. I do not like having to plug a cable. Now, if
you want a cradle.
I want a cradle. So that's why I love my Harmony. Is when I was done with it, I just set it in the cradle. I have a cradle here on my desk that I set my phone in. I've got a cradle next to my bed that I set my phone in, because all of those years having to find the cable, plug it into my phone, just like, I hate it.
Okay. So I am perfectly fine. I agree with you partially, but if it is a well used, easy to use plug-in adapter like USB-C, that's a big plus versus all the other ones.
Yeah.
And they mark here that this thing will last months between charges, which means you don't have to plug it in very often.
Yeah,
which is about as good as you can get to avoid the problems that you're having. So. Without being a wireless charger.
The problem with that, though, is that invariably the one time that I go to use it will be when the battery is dead. And then you have to go fish around for, even if it is a USB-C cable, you got to go fish around for it, because in that month it's fallen off of the table, been kicked under the couch, who knows, and you got to go fish around and find it.
I got USB-C cables all over the place. What you're talking about?
Yeah, I don't like cables. Cables are fine if you connect it once. Like, I'm not going and I intentionally don't use external devices or connect mobile devices to my TV in my living room, because I don't want to have to fish around, plug it in, unplug it, plug it in, unplug it, Yeah.
I'm the other guy. I like cables because once they're plugged in, I know they're plugged in. I mean, I get the point of it, when you're trying to move things around. So.
I mean, it's just like the controller. If I had to plug a cable into it every time to charge it, then screw that. I will use the batteries. If I can just set it in the cradle. Because when I'm done, I set it in the cradle. That way, it may be a month before I ever touch it again.
Right.
And I want to know that when I pick it up, it's fully charged, it's ready to go.
Okay. All right. Roku S10. It's out. I didn't know. Roku S10 is out, and it's got some new features. We got AirPlay 2. I could have swore we spoke about
AirPlay they're 2. Bringing AirPlay 2 to more devices. They had given us AirPlay 2 on the newer devices previously.
I see.
But this expands it to more devices.
Very cool. Also, this gives you the option to do what's called an instant resume for many streaming apps. Apparently, it has to be supported by the app, but this allows you to very quickly get right back to the show that you were previously watching. And also, apparently, it's got updates that makes it easy for you to configure, or maybe even automatic to configure your Roku TV. So it's easy to be already set up for your gaming console using low latency settings and other good adjustments like that. So that's all good stuff. I love it.
And so as the Roku beta tester,
yes, you are.
I can honestly say I didn't realize 10 was available or even being tested until I saw this, because I've been too busy to really participate in the forum and do the testing. That being said, my test device is the main Roku I use every day. I have not had any problems. I didn't even notice that it had been upgraded, so that should be a good thing for most people. Because if it was stable enough during beta when they were doing bug fixes and testing, actively testing, that I didn't notice, now that it's actually out in the wild, I wouldn't expect too much bad. So I lost my train of thought there. So
it's okay. No worries. The train has left the station.
Yeah.
All right. Here's one. Plex. That lovely streaming box, which, stream device, which you set up on your own, either NAS or computer, to stream your own content that you've put on it out onto your all your devices, like your TVs and your other device. They are spending a lot of their money that they've been raising in capital in order to provide more streaming services and streaming content to you through this interface. This is interesting to me because they're spending like $50 million or more on things like getting the popular streamers and premium video on demand titles available on this platform, which is, again, not what I want Plex for. But they have been pushing for this kind of, we wish to be another popular place for you to go and watch those shows that are available on a streaming device. And this is the exact kind of thing that they are continuing to push. Every time I will launch Plex recently, it basically pushes this up front for me. And that's not what I want out of Plex, which makes me sad. So Plex is turning into another streaming platform, everybody, and it's even more money being invested in that. If that's what you want, congratulations. If that's not, I think it's there's open source alternatives I'm going to be looking into.
Can we officially say that Plex is all grown up?
Sure. Yeah, it's absolutely a pretty mature system. Yeah.
I mean, I get what you're saying, Matt, but then on the other hand, I mean, what other direction were they going to go? Right? I mean, I know you can say, well, they could just stay like what they were originally.
They could have shut down.
But, yeah, they could have shut down and give the money back to the shareholders, right?
I mean, are they publicly traded?
I have no idea if they're publicly traded.
That's just that's just a pun from Michael Dell, what he said about Apple years ago.
No, I mean, it was the thing where they have a passion for their platform. It's a bunch of people that are driven, and they have a group of users that are passionate and outspoken, and it's a good mix. I mean, this isn't for everybody. The fact that they're adapting to the changing landscape, I think, is great.
Yes,
because when streaming started really taking off and stuff became available, readily available, I thought Plex was gonna go away. I thought it was going to be like the Boxy or the XBMC or, these other things that Plex were competing with, that are all gone.
Right. No, Plex did the right thing, making it super easy to put on your Windows machine, making it very easy for you to put it on your Linux box, and getting themselves their foot in the door with almost every single NAS devices out there it can do a Plex server. That was their secret of just whatever you got, it'll run Plex, and it runs it well.
And they've done a good job of branding in the fact that most people know the name Plex.
Yeah.
They may not be able to explain what Plex does, but they know the name. And that is almost all of the battle right there.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. It feels like this is this is going away from its original thing, and it feels wrong to me.
Kind of have to.
No, they don't. But that's my opinion.
Yeah, not everybody's hanging out at the $5 DVD bin to pick up DVDs so they can take them home and rip them, right?
I guess I'm the only one who does that.
Most people don't do that anymore, Matt. You know, I mean, there was a time it did have its day in the sun, right? No doubt about it. And because the viewing public has evolved to something beyond that now,
they finally,
Plex also has to evolve.
Maybe they finally decided they no longer want to be complicit in you storing your dark web porn. Not you specifically, just the general people of Plex users.
Get off my Plex box. No. I don't know. It's fine. It's things evolving. I just, part of me is really, part of me wishes that this was kind of separating into two different projects, if you know what I mean. And one remained the old way. I totally want Netflix to keep selling me DVDs or renting me DVDs, which they still do.
What you want is you want them to offer a Plex Lite that is just the server.
Yeah, or some. Yes, that's exactly what I want. That's what I want. I want that. I want them to not take this thing that I think is basically correct in how it's designed, and then trying to expand it into something else, which might also be good to design. I just want that original thing to stay what it is. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that is a valid. That is a valid request, and that's something that you should bring up on the Plex, because there's probably other Plex users that are like, yeah, I mean, they could call it Plex Lite or Plex Classic. You know, who cares?
Plex.
Yeah, Plex Classic.
Classic was always better.
Plex S.
Plexus?
Plexus? I was trying to find an Apple throwback.
iPlex?
But
I can see iPlex.
Yeah.
The ePlex? Because they did the eMac once, which I actually liked. But, you know.
Oh, Plex 2E.
Okay.
E is for efficiency.
Could call it OS Plex.
The quadruplex. Oh, I like that one. I like the quadruplex.
Well, I mean, Plex OS was a thing, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't think Plex OS was a thing, but no. I like this idea of using old Mac things to make better Plex things. It's very nice. It works really well, actually, I gotta say. All right, I have one last story here, and I'm going to need some help here because I quite don't understand. Apparently, AT&T is spending $2 billion in an attempt to provide more internet to more people over the next 2 or 3 years. They're planning on providing more of a learning platform available for people using Warner Media to provide this. They're providing like these weird hubs that are going to be launching in locations. They're community locations where they can bring out these new information and we're just curious whether or not they're going to provide this information in libraries. What the heck are they doing? Is this just them throwing money around saying, look at us, we're good guys?
Partly, most likely. The other thing is, I think it's a cash grab in the fact that a way to bring in people that weren't previously AT&T subscribers into the fold. If you're in a market where you could.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, this is their response to the shifting landscape of the last year with more people working and learning from home. And if you saw at the beginning of things last year, schools were not prepared.
No.
Well,
and even schools that were prepared, everything else was not prepared.
There was a market that emerged, and this is AT&T's attempt to corner that market. Because, yes, people basically got by with existing tools that weren't specifically designed for that scenario. And that's what AT&T is trying to do, something that is specifically designed for learning from home with the resources available.
Right here it says AT&T says it has an exclusive content featuring Warner Media properties and talent, meaning that it could possibly even include programming featuring Warner-owned DC comic book characters. Who doesn't want to learn math lesson from Batman? Hopefully not Aquaman. Actually, Batman as a math teacher would scare me.
Give me Aquaman. I mean, it's actually Captain America doing physical fitness stuff is Marvel canon.
Yes, it is, and it's hilarious.
Yeah. So, I mean,
it's absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, you get the way I see this is it's giving educators a pool that they can draw from.
Sure.
With your after school specials and audio video stuff that may not have been available. It's already there on this platform and easy to add into your lesson plan that you're building on this platform. And yeah. I mean, I think Clyde's right here. I think it is AT&T trying to go out there and try to build their subscriber base. It's the future. Probably in places where they don't have so many subscribers. But I don't know. When I think about this, it's like, okay, so, basically this is centered around kids for the most part. And so if a kid goes and uses AT&T internet service in some way or this educational content, is that going to make them want to get, their mobile phone service from AT&T once they get old enough to have their own service?
That branding kind of works with people where you could have at a school district and something is provided by sponsored by a company, and a good portion of them will think, oh, that's what they did that for my school, they're a good company, and that actually does kind of work. So absolutely, that's a possibility here. I just think it's weird, the idea of all this money being pushed into literally some type of helping education, which this article clearly from the beginning says this is like a jargon release, of which nothing is very clear, and there's all kinds of different ways that they're possibly going to use this in the future. It's not clear, and I think that's on purpose. I think this is them just basically making it. Making themselves that we're spending money in public places for you and for the children. And
welcome to Chemistry 101, provided by AT&T. What are they going to provide for health class? Does Warner own any of those?
The Christian Bale Batman said, "Squat for me, squat for me."
I was gonna say, does Warner secretly own any of those popular internet websites frequented by adults and some minors?
I don't know. It doesn't feel right, guys. This just doesn't feel right. That's all I gotta say.
I mean, it's a business. It's the new landscape. Distance learning is one of those things that I don't think it's going away. The cat's out of the bag. For some people, it works really well. For some people, not so well.
Yeah.
So,
sure.
yes, there will always be on-site learning for some people, but I think we're looking at the first generation that's going to be homeschooled, and that's not meant like said in a derogatory way.
Oh, yeah.
Because up till this point, you say they were homeschooled, and it's like, oh, they're homeschooled, you know.
I've known some kids that were homeschooled, and that's not how I say it.
No. I'm not saying you. I'm just saying in general, that's the way the public looks at homeschooling. Has historically looked at.
I understand what you're saying,
yeah.
but yeah, the condensation is there by most people. I'm just saying that I've met homeschooled kids that are the smartest people you know.
Oh yeah,
so.
yeah. I've known, and that's a conversation we can have later. But
right.
But that's what I'm saying is, and AT&T also realizes this, and they said this is a market, and we need to get in early, and because
they got the properties to do it, man.
Yep,
man.
They got the properties, may as well leverage it.
Okay.
Well,
DC Super Friends for the future.
You know what we got?
DC Super Friends?
Nope. Even better, we have
the
patrons.
VOD Squad Super Friends. Oh, are they the VOD Squad Super Friends?
They would technically be the VOD Squad Super Friends.
Ah.
And every month they rise to the call and don't cancel their subscription, or at least don't cancel it soon enough for Patreon to not charge. And for that, we are grateful.
Absolutely.
So
the superpower is awesome.
To all of you that are have been subscribing, thank you. You're awesome. If you are on the fence, or
you're just feeling generous.
Yeah, feeling generous.
Yeah.
We're not.
You genuinely like the show. That I know that's shocking.
Yeah. I mean, you could go over to patreon.com /the VOD Squad. Subscribe $1, or $1. That's not much. There's a Patreon that I keep forgetting to cancel because I don't participate anymore, and it's $14 a month.
Whoa, dude.
And so for that $14, I could have gotten 14 months of the VOD Squad.
Nice.
So, patreon.com /the VOD Squad if you want to. You don't have to, but we'll like you better if you did.
A little bit.
Alrighty, why don't we get into some rants and some raves? Rants, raves, what do you got?
All right. I want to just say that this last weekend, it had been 2 weeks since I've had my COVID shot, and I felt completely safe and secure to go and visit friends and family back where I used to live. So I did. And followed all the rules, went up and made sure everybody was okay with everything, if everybody was vaccinated. We just did everything right. So one of the reasons that I went, other than it's been a year since I'd seen people that I love and and miss, is that I've been working on that machine for my son, right? That computer.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a friend said, "Hey, I got an old card here I'm not using. Come on over. Give me your. Well, just you can have it." Really? What he said was he had a 1070, which is like, dang, absolutely, I'll come grab that. And he said, "Yeah, just give me your old one and we'll swap it out. I'm using it for his pretty darn cool looking arcade cabinet he made to do MAME games. He's built from scratch, which is pretty awesome." I played the 90s arcade Spider-Man game, by the way. That was weird. way too much Namor. Got that, but we got there and he was gonna pull it out, and then he realized, oh, it wasn't a 1070, it was a 770. I said, that's still an upgrade. I'll take it. And said, yeah, sure, go ahead, take it, no problem. So I've been going through all this trouble of getting this computer working and trying to figure out why things weren't booting. As I said in previous weeks, of trying to get the thing to boot and finding out that that certain things wouldn't work and have to swap things out with other devices in order to make it work. This has been quite the ordeal. And I get it home. I've got this new card. It's one of the larger, it's got all 3 fans in it. I get it all plugged in, all turned on, and it boots, and I'm so happy. It's booting. Great. That means we can actually get started. And the darn fans on that old card he had are rattling like crazy. So I went ahead. We're moving forward with the 760, which we have for him. And it's a little bit slower than the 770 that I wanted to get for free, which I was hoping was a free 1070, but whatever. I ain't complaining. I'm just saying, this has been an ordeal. Good news is, I got it. I set it up for him today. It was up and running. Got it installed, everything. And I said, "Hey, what you been doing?" It's on it. "Oh, been doing homework because he's doing school stuff on it." "Okay, cool. You gonna play some games?" "Yeah. First game I'm gonna play is Roblox."
The thing you can play on a Kindle.
What is Roblox?
It's a very low res game.
Oh,
It's like
okay.
It's a cross between Lego and Minecraft.
Yeah. And it runs on a potato chip.
It does.
But then shortly after that, he did play other games, Fortnite, and I noted he wants to play Battlefield 2 on it, which is a pretty epic game and things.
Are you gonna get him hooked into Stadia?
Probably not, because he has an awesome gaming machine now. He has got the best gaming machine in the house now. I need to upgrade my computer.
Well, I mean, a good gaming machine would be perfect for Stadia.
True. That's true. But as of right now, no. I just want him to. I know he wants to play Overwatch, which we'll have to buy him a copy of that. It's only $20 though, so it's not too bad. So like things like that. He wants to get into that stuff, which is fine. He's old enough now.
Does Blizzard let you gift
games? Yes, you can, I believe.
Even if you've previously installed it, if I wanted to uninstall a game and gift it to somebody?
Oh, you would gift a game that your game to somebody else?
Yeah,
no.
like let's say you buy a game, you install it, and you go, "I don't like this."
Unfortunately, it does not allow you to
if it did, I was gonna say I'll give you Overwatch. I got the early access pre-order that came with the crazy license plate thing with all the characters.
Wow. Nice.
Mainly because I was at Best Buy and they said, "Hey, if you pre-order this game that's coming out next year, we'll give you a $70 gift card." So it ended up being free. I was just like,
nice.
Okay. Oh, I made like $10 or whatever. And then I played it. I didn't even know what the game was. I was just like, yeah, why not? And then I played it for about a month and went, yeah, I'm not into this.
Bad Weave says, "I hear Roblox on the 760 absolutely screams." It probably does.
Well, on that 770, it definitely screamed.
It would have been, yeah. Well, yeah. My next investment is into replacement fans for that thing, which I've never replaced the fans on a graphics card before, so got to do something new. But it'll be fun. I'm going to see if I can find RGB fans for him. That'd be great, because everything in there glows in that system now. It's beautiful.
All right,
that's me,
Jimmy. All right. So this past weekend, I checked out the newly released Godzilla vs. Kong.
Ooh, did Kong win?
Does it hold up to the 1962 Godzilla vs. King Kong? I think it's 62.
Well, I mean, special effects is probably better than what it was in 1962. I'm sure that's true.
Did Godzilla reprise his role, or did they recast him?
He, you know, it still looks like Godzilla, right? Yeah, and it
60
still looks
years
like
later.
King Kong, right? So, but you know, I mean, okay, I mean, if you like this type of science fiction movie, then you'll probably like this movie, right? You know, I used to watch these kind of movies when I was a kid, and that was the main reason why I watched it, right? You know, it's fairly entertaining, you know, but you know, as a lot of this particular type of science fiction movie goes, you know, if you've seen one of those big monster movies, you know, you've probably seen them all, right? But yeah, it's always interesting to see, you know, what they might do a little different, you know, here with this, and but yeah, an interesting movie, and you don't. Well, I shouldn't say much about it, right? But um, I enjoyed it. You know, I thought it was worth the watch, right? You know, definitely not going to be hit your top 10 list, but if you like this kind of science fiction and all, yeah, I recommend watching it. And two, I heard it did quite well at the box office, like.
Well, it's like the only movie in the theater.
Yeah, but still, it did 300 million plus, which is good these days, right? Even if it is the only movie.
Well, but that's why I'm saying if it didn't do good. I
mean, Tenet was the only movie in the theater too, and it didn't even do nowhere near that.
Yeah, but that was also because he managed to piss off everybody that was actually going to go see it. This is just proof that if you don't piss off the fans, people will actually go see your movie.
Or if you start passing out vaccine shots.
Yeah. I don't think that had anything to do with it.
Oh. Maybe I'll watch Tenet next weekend.
All right. So I was clicking around on Hulu the other day, and I saw this new show. And I'd never heard of it, called People of Earth. And I clicked into it and I saw, oh, it's a TBS show. And I said, I miss TBS, because TBS always had the quirky shows that I liked, especially back around 2016, 2017. And then I went into the details of the show and found out it's from 2016. Somehow, that was like at the pinnacle of my TBS watching, and somehow I never saw a promo, never heard anything about this show. I really enjoy it. It is exactly what I would expect from a TBS show, which is one of the reasons it's got all the qualities that I typically love about TBS shows. It's got quirky characters, a premise that is silly but not like absurdly kind of unbelievable. It's basically a journalist, New York journalist, gets sent up to a upstate New York town to do a story about a group. It's a support group for abductees, a UFO abductees. And then as he goes through that, you know, they go through the first season, he start to uncover stuff about his past and the people around him, and it's a great show. Apparently there's 2 seasons. I haven't finished the first season yet, so I don't know how badly season 2 goes off the rails, or if this is like a guest book, the guest book where it deserved more seasons and you just didn't get it. The guest book was one I've talked about previously. It's a Greg Garcia show. He's the dude that did My Name is Earl and Raising Hope. And all three of those shows have like the same people, because he does kind of the Adam Sandler thing where he finds people that he likes to work with and then he includes them in everything he does. Mm-hmm. And so which works for me because I love all the people in those shows. So it's like, hey, Greg Garcia is doing a new show and all those people that you love are in it. All right, I'm in. But yeah, no, I check out People of Earth. Just watch the first episode and I think you'll know pretty quickly if you're in or not. And it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah, it looks funny, gotta say.
But all right, well, with that, I think we should wrap things up. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us tonight. We appreciate you being around. If you are listening to this after the fact, you should come join us live sometime. We do this every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Central, here on Twitch. You get to participate in the chat. You get to submit titles. You get to vote on the aforementioned titles in the post show. And that's right, there is a post show, which you don't get if you're not here. That being said, if you are here and you're like, why am I here? I'd rather just listen to these guys. You can. The podcast is available everywhere that podcasts are available. Go out there, find it, download it. And, you leave a rating or a review on whatever platform that you decided to choose it from. Hey, if you want to go to all the platforms and duplicate your work, you're awesome.
Wait, are you telling me that I can go onto this this platform thing and download this episode and consume it, and then I can do it again, and each time I can leave a rating behind saying how awesome this is, that you like it so much that you want
I'm sure that
listen to it multiple times?
I'm sure there are platforms, especially ones that are fruit-based, starting with I and some sort of form of music, where you don't even have to listen to the episode. You just log in and you go to the show and say
approved, 5
whatever
stars.
you want. And yeah, I don't even think you have to listen to it over and over and over, because that sounds like torture.
Well, okay.
I mean, listening to something once is great, but being forced to listen to it over and over and over, that is something that like certain government agencies do to torture people.
Oh.
And I do not condone that.
Yeah, actually, I agree. I do not condone the use of this audio to torture people.
Now, if you're doing it to yourself of your own volition because
that's your own thing.
Yeah, no,
you can do whatever you want.
Yeah,
that's
knock
fine.
yourself out.
You're not hurting anybody else. It's fine.
So, alrighty, and then on that note, should probably get out of here.
You got dark real fast, guys.
Full circle. Yeah, that's it. Bye.
Bye, guys.
The button moved.
No!
We'll do this. We'll go black, and then we'll do this.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.